So many people work together to prepare this concert, a lot more obviously than one person. In the program, there's a special thanks to a whole bunch of people, but a few people need to be singled out for their very special efforts. The first is Mr. Don Salvo, the fine arts supervisor here at the high school. He's the one who really takes care of us as far as getting us a line in the budget to pay for a lot of this equipment, to get us facilities and staff, and we appreciate his help so much. Mr. Frank Capaldi, the band director, who puts up with all of us as far as moving equipment and getting out of rehearsals and that. He's a big help. A special thanks to the technical production people, Mr. Rob Anderson, and especially Mr. Jason Brown, who's been our lighting director tonight. A very special thanks to the folks in the booth for all of their work. The TV production people, Dr. Judy Ulick, and especially Kevin O'Connor, who is our student director, locked up in the booth up there with all of the monitors. He does an outstanding job with that. All the directors, Mr. Loss, Mr. McNaught, Mr. Early, Mr. Sigler, who's one of our instructors. Without their help, we just couldn't do this. Now comes the sad part of the concert for us, and actually before we do that, we have a special thing to do tonight. Usually every year, we have a person who comes along who makes a special contribution to the group, who does something above and beyond to help out the group. Usually it's a parent, sometimes it just may be a volunteer, even a community member who may make a donation or whatever that makes us a better group and helps us to do our job better. This year we have a gentleman who has driven our truck for 4 years for us. That's a big deal because you can imagine all this stuff has to move to football games, to concerts. At the holiday time, we take our stuff down to KDK and to the Baptist home and to different churches and cart the stuff all around the country. And he's been doing this for 4 years for us, and we really appreciate that. The way we honor him is to make him an honorary member of our group. Would Mr. Chuck Satterfield please come down to the stage? Chuck, on behalf of the entire group, all the work you've done and all the help you've been to us, we thank you so much and welcome you as an honorary member. Practices next Tuesday morning at 6:30, I think, is the first one. Thank you. Now comes the sad part. We have to say goodbye to 6 very, very special young people. Our seniors have been with us for 4 years, and we call ourselves a percussion family, and we are that. We spend 500 hours a year together doing this, 2,000 hours over a 4-year career. You become very close to people at that point in time, obviously. These folks have done all that we could possibly ask them and even more. Will you please welcome to the stage first, Mr. Adam Fisher. Adam is a 4-year member, 2,000-hour member of percussion ensemble, jazz band, concert band, and marching band. He's had time to study along the way, and he's a member of the National Honor Society. He joined us playing cymbals in his freshman year, then jumped right to snare on the drum line and played snare for 3 years, and obviously percussion ensemble. He'll be attending Virginia Tech next year, majoring in computer science. Please help us to thank and say goodbye to Mr. Adam Fisher. Please welcome to the stage, Miss Missy Dugan. Missy came to us through the percussion front direction. These are students that have played piano, violin, oboe, things you couldn't very well play in a marching band, and we asked them to be members of the percussion front and play xylophone and marimba. She's been a member of percussion ensemble, marching band, she's played lacrosse. She also did a very unusual thing. She was a member of percussion front for 3 years, and along the time she took drum lessons. And her goal was to join the drum line in her senior year. Not only to join the drum line, but to play snare in the drum line, which is the most technical of all the instruments. She took the audition in April of her junior year, and joined the snare line in her senior year. Just a tremendous accomplishment. The first person ever to accomplish that, as a matter of fact. She's also had a lot of time to study. She's a National Honor Society member. She went to the Juniata College Honors Band last year and represented us. Next year, she'll be going to Westminster College, majoring in elementary education. She'll be a wonderful teacher. She's getting a scholarship for minoring in music. We love her dearly. Please help us to thank and say goodbye to Miss Missy Dugan. Mr. Jason Johnson. Jason's been with us for 4 years, 2,000 hours. You just sort of say that, 2,000 hours, and you think what that means. Percussion ensemble, marching band, concert band, jazz ensemble, orchestra, chamber ensemble. He's played percussion in the school musical. He's been in a pep band. He's attended a Mellon Jazz Festival. He's also been in a Spanish club and a TV club. In his senior year, he kind of left the drum line and went to the band and took a very important position, the drum major's position. If you attended the football games, he's a young man who was up in front of the entire band conducting the halftime shows, keeping the whole organization together on the football field, which is a major accomplishment, believe me. He will be continuing in music. We're always proud when one of our students decides to do that. He'll be going to the Berklee School of Music next year, majoring in music and business. Please help us to thank and say goodbye to Mr. Jason Johnson. Mr. Chris Brown. We're just thinking, what happens when the 15 freshmen become seniors? They get a little crowded up here. Chris is a 4-year member, 2,000-hour member of ensemble, concert band, marching band, jazz band, wind ensemble, orchestra. He's also appeared in the school musicals. In his 10th grade year, he was the bass drum section leader for us. You heard tonight what a wonderful keyboard player is, but really I think his best instrument is timpani. To find a high school student who can tune timpani, if you ever watch the percussion, the timpani players back, and you wonder why are they always bending over the drums, listening to the drums, it's like they talk to them or whatever. They're actually tuning the drums. There's a pedal that you push up and down which adjusts the tension of the head. And to do that at such a young age and to have the tuning so correct is just outstanding. He will also be majoring in music or going into music to the Berklee College of Music and majoring in sound recording technologies. Please help us to thank and say goodbye to Mr. Chris Brown. You can keep it tonight. Please welcome Miss Nora Glutch. Nora also came to us through the percussion front direction. She was a violin player, couldn't very well do that in marching band. Interesting idea, but I don't think so. Percussion ensemble, marching band with the percussion front. Was a member of the Evening Theater Company. She has appeared in several of the school musicals. She's a percussionist, a violinist, and also a voice person. She's had a lot of time to study. Cum laude, National Honor Society. You can't cry yet. She's a National Merit finalist. She's won a scholarship, the Trustees Honors Scholarship for Excellence in Academics. She's also have a merit scholarship because of her National Honor Society. She'll be attending Grinnell College next year, majoring in gender and women's studies, and also very fortunately for us, she'll continue to play percussion in college. This year, in her senior year, she was the percussion front section leader, where she was responsible for the 10 members of that section and getting all of this equipment, almost all of it, down and back to the football games, the away games and that, which is a major accomplishment, and she didn't lose anything either, which is the important thing. Please help us to thank and say goodbye to Miss Nora Glutch. Mr. Tim Satterfield. Tim's another 4-year member, 2,000 hours of percussion ensemble, marching band, concert band, jazz ensemble orchestra, chamber orchestra. He's appeared in several of the school musicals and in the orchestra, also pep bands. We don't want to hear him sing. You don't want to do that. In his senior year, he took over the awesome responsibility of becoming the drum captain, of running the entire marching percussion section, drum line, and percussion front. With my job, my day job, I'm only here about half the time with that group, and he's the one that would run the rehearsals and run the sectionals and organize things and keep things going. Just an awesome job. He joined us as a cymbal player in his freshman year, then jumped to snare and played snare the remaining 3 years. He will be going to Indiana University next year, majoring in computer science, and also he will be continue to perform music in college. He also asked me, he doesn't want to say it himself, but I'll say it for him. He wants to thank all the folks in the drum line and the percussion ensemble, which he considers to be his family. And also a special thanks to his mom, who has given him 4 years of patience. Please help us to thank and say goodbye to Mr. Tim Satterfield. The 1998 seniors. Don't leave.
Good evening. This is the time where we thank our instructors and each other in the ensemble. And to represent that, we've brought together some gifts for all the instructors. So Mr. Minnotte, if you'd like to step forward, please. Mr. Early. Mr. McNaught. And Mr. Louse. Not only does it take time and the responsibility to control all of us and get things going to a college level ensemble, we really owe you a debt of gratitude, and we all salute you. We're really going to miss this and all of you.
Couple again this side. We'll be on that side. We've talked about them individually, but I want to talk about them as a group. On the back of our drumline t-shirts are 5 words: pride, dedication, responsibility, perfection, and tradition. After these concerts, we always hear out in the lobby, and I hear in letters and cards that you send to me, they were awesome, they were wonderful, they so professional, they were wonderful musicians. And we appreciate that, we really do. That's one of our goals, obviously, but it's not the most important. It's the kids know, and as they'll tell you, the least important thing that we teach here is music. Because except for maybe Jason and Chris, hopefully they'll stick it out and they'll become musicians, but generally speaking, the kids don't become professional musicians, but they become something. Business people, sales people, doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs, whatever. And the skills they learn here, we hope, is what they will go ahead and take out. Pride. We're all proud of them. You're proud of them. The staff is very proud of them. Their friends are proud of them. The people in school are proud of them. But they're proud of themselves. They've developed that inner pride, knowing that they've done the best they possibly can. And they carry that with them. They know what that feels like to work at that level. Dedication and responsibility kind of go together. To being on time, to being prepared, to taking care of the younger students and showing them the way, 2,000 hours, I guess, kind of takes care of the responsibility hinge right there. Perfection. They're not perfect. I'm sorry. I had to let it out. But they sure try to be. They sure try to be. One of the things I'm always concerned about is this well-rounded concept thing. Yes, it's important we try things and we let them explore different possibilities. But, you know, there comes a time when you got to get good at something. I don't really care what it is. We decided to make percussion it. It could have been table tennis or tiddlywinks, but we happened to pick percussion. And the goal has been to become the best we possibly can, that they possibly can, at percussion. And they've done that. They've really accomplished that. Tradition. The Malaban in percussion stands for something. We've been doing this for 14 years now. You've come to expect a certain level of performance from us. We've come to expect a certain level of performance from ourselves. These folks have been the keepers of the tradition for 4 years. When they come in as ninth graders, they kind of go, I don't know, kind of awesome. You watch the upperclassmen play and you go, I can't play like that. I'll never be able to play like that. What am I going to do? But you watch the upperclassmen, you watch how they play, you watch how they carry themselves, you watch their sense of tradition. And you develop that, you learn that. In 10th grade, you get a little bit better. And then all of a sudden, you become the instructors. Instead of being the ones who were taught, you become the teachers. And it's neat to see that transformation take place as they become the section leaders and the roles get reversed. And as they develop their keyboard skills, and they become better and better. But now comes a difficult time. They have to take that step from being the keepers, the caretakers of that tradition, and they are now the tradition themselves. We'll talk about Chris and Jason and Nora and Missy and Adam and Tim. In a few years we'll say, remember how Tim did this? Remember how Nora did that? Remember how Chris and Jason and all of them did these things? And the folks back there, when they're playing, will think of the examples these people set. The senior's job is to leave the section in better shape than when they acquired it. And these six can rest assured that the section today is better than it was 4 years ago. They accomplished their task. They fulfilled their job. When they come back to watch, it's one of the hardest things to come back as a first-year player out of the section and to go, they play better than we do. But it's all right, because that means everything's working. It means that they did their jobs, that you all did your jobs and learned from them, and that we as the staff did our jobs. Last night, after one of the concerts, one of last year's seniors said, you know, they play better than us. That's great. And he meant it. And he meant it. It's very hard to say at a young age like this. But these six have accomplished that. And for them, and for everybody on the stage, and for myself in particular, we're eternally grateful. Thank you. Thank you all so much. We work really hard at this, obviously, but we really enjoy doing this, as I guess you can tell. It's a lot of fun, and our fun comes in performing for you. It wouldn't be half as much fun if you weren't here. We close with our traditional closer, Cacciatore and Saber Dance. We do it every year because it allows every single person a chance to play. Some year when we have 50 players, we'll have to see what we can do about that. But for right now, it works. Thank you all so much. Be sure we'll see you in the lobby afterwards. There's a wonderful reception laid out for all of us. The students will be out there to greet you as well as staff. Thank you for attending.